Well, getting back into the semis, third time in 4 years for you. So, just how excited are you for the upcoming game?
It's a pretty good feeling, especially having it in Bobcat Stadium, being able to have a home game um, with our fans here supporting us. It's a really good feeling.
How much do you think back to that 21 home game here and the South Dakota State game? How fresh is that in your memory?
It's pretty special. That's one of the coolest games and moments I've ever been a part of, and thinking back to that's a lot of good memories to that game.
Tell us a little bit about Vegas and the Campbell Trophy presentation and all that.
Yeah, that was a really great opportunity. Had a ton of fun. It was a quick trip, but got to meet some really cool people, some Hall of Famers, and then obviously some of the best players in college football this year. So just getting to chat up some football and hang out with them and interact with them. That was a really cool experience for me.
Anybody stand out that you met?
I mean, some of the players that I grew up watching, like Larry Fitzgerald, Julius Peppers. I mean, Randy Moss was supposed to be there. I didn't get to see him, but yeah, those were pretty cool because I watched them so much growing up, and so yeah, that was awesome.
Coming up on your final home game this week as you kind of reflect back on just the whole process. What is this university program meant to you?
It means the world. It's given me everything. Um, it's been a long ride, but it's felt quick, and being able to do this with some of my best friends, guys that'll be in my wedding, and it means the world to be able to take this last ride out with them and give it everything we can and learn from our mistakes in the past and try to get better and um, figure out ways to just keep moving forward. And I think that's why this group is so special.
Have you guys been able to take in how special this season has been so far, the history you've made, or is it still kind of eyes on the prize?
Sort of. It's kind of hard to with our goals being in front of us and what we have moving forward. But I think that bye week, especially after the regular season, was a great time to go home, reflect, and think about how special that regular season was and how we're gonna reset and keep moving forward in the playoffs.
Yeah, thinking about Idaho on Friday night, two plays gave you guys a lot of momentum. One of those being the fumble recovery you had. I guess kind of just take me through that play. I know he kind of ran into his lineman, but
Mm-hmm.
being able to recover that fumble.
Yeah, it was a big play right there in the 2 minute situation that got us the ball back so we could score. And I mean, it was a screen, so I was just trying to retrace and get back and get in on a play. And somebody, I think it was Rylan or Bryce, I can't remember, somebody um, ran into the lineman and set him up, and just it all worked out right. And I was there to make the play, and could have been anybody else, but I was just hustling over there, and it all worked out.
In order for you guys to keep those goals in front of you, what do you got to improve on for this past game?
Explosive plays. That was one of our worst days of having explosive plays. A couple long touchdowns, long runs in the second half, stuff like that. So we definitely got to improve on that. They like taking shots down the field. South Dakota does. So um, being better in the run game on explosives in the pass game as well.
Is there anything you guys did pressure wise? It seemed like you got a lot more pressure later in the game as the game went on. Is there anything you guys did differently that you felt like was able to be successful in those situations?
I mean, they changed their protections a little bit. It was more later in the game when you're down, you're forced to throw the ball a lot more, so it's easier to dial up pressure and stuff like that for sure. Or earlier in the game, doing more play action, heavy like max protection, having tight ends, backs, chipping, and stuff like that. So definitely in the second half, um, being up like that, it's definitely easier to get play calls or have Coach Howe give us games or different things like that to change it up on them.
Do you think it was an advantage playing on the Friday night because you guys got all Saturday? Like, I guess what was this weekend like watching the other teams on Saturday and everything?
It was definitely a quick turnaround, but in hindsight, when you get that on Friday, you get the win. Being able to rest on Saturday, watch those games, have an extra day to heal up, prepare, everything like that. That definitely, I think, should give us a little bit of an advantage on health wise.
You talked about this group being special. How proud are you just this entire senior group and what you guys have kind of been through these last 4 years, 5 years, just in everything that's accomplished. How proud are you of this specific group?
I mean, we just came together and, I mean, drew a line in the sand, I guess you could say, and said we're gonna take this to another level and try to be better and do things that we haven't done in the past. go through things in the off season, make it tougher on ourselves, and try to take it to another level. And I think it's all kind of worked out. We got to keep it going forward.
Well, I guess speaking of that, what does a guy like McCade leadership wise, just kind of play everything?
McCade's a guy that didn't play a ton early in his career, but he's a Montana kid that's always stuck to the process, loved this place, and done everything he can for it. And for him to last couple of years be able to step up and go into a bigger role, leadership role, a role where we depend on him to make a lot of plays for us. He's stepped into that and thrived, and he's been instrumental for us.
How much did you guys? Tommy mentioned how the past has kind of helped you guys get through these tough moments in games like this. So how much do you feel like just the highs and lows in previous years have helped you guys prepare for tougher high pressure moments?
Definitely, adversity can either bring out the best in you or it can tear you down. And I think, in some of the past games, we've got torn down by it, and I think we've learned from some of those mistakes and we've been in some situations. Last game at the beginning of the game, we gave up a couple touchdowns and ended up bowing up and making some plays both on offense and defense, and feel like that's something we've definitely got a lot better at, and that's helped us from our previous failures.
It's just you guys and the Dakotas left. You're that sole representative now for Montana and for the Big Sky. Just, what stood out most about South Dakota when you saw on Saturday and you had the ability to kind of get through the Dakotas to put Montana State back in that championship level?
There's a reason us and the Dakotas are in this last four, I think, is physical brand of football, being able to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And I think that's what it comes down to. South Dakota and all the teams is very physical teams, O-line, D-lines, and you got to win the line of scrimmage to win these games. And we take that personally and as a D-line, and I know the O-line does too. And so,
What's the advantage of Bobcat Stadium this Saturday?
you could see it in Idaho, a couple false starts, miscommunication on some things, momentum swings, going from being 17-10 or whatever it was to 31-10 just in a couple minutes. Momentum's huge here in Bobcat Stadium, so I hope we can pack it out again, and it'll be a great atmosphere.
Part of the Campbell Trophy, obviously, is the academic part of it, and your coach Hal was saying how you're able to studying how to turn cow manure. You've done it both in school and in real life, turning cow manure into fuel. So can you describe kind of that process and what you've been doing on that front?
Yeah, I've been working on that for a couple years now. Originally, it was just the idea on how I can maybe give the ranch another source of revenue or something like that. And then with our capstone for mechanical engineering, it's a whole year process of one semester designing and then the second semester of actually building it and seeing if it'll work. And came together with two other students, and it all kind of worked out pretty well, and we got it going, and some experiments on it, and yeah.
What's it called exactly?
It's a bioreactor.
Bioreactor.
So yeah, you mix some cattle manure with water, and you got to have it at the right conditions with temperature wise. So we got heaters, and it's all automated with sensors and everything like that gives feedback to an internal microcomputer, and so it's all pretty much runs itself. So that's the nice thing about it. It takes about a week or 10 days for it to grow in there. The algae it starts as pretty clear water, and then it turns into a dark green just in a couple days. So it's pretty cool.